Good morning to you. A weekend hailstorm leaves behind a lot of damage in Townsend. Coming up, the extent of that damage and a look ahead what's in store for the weather in this week to come.
Also, a pop-up art exhibit in Bozeman hopes to do more than just attract art lovers. Coming up, learn how the display also hopes to serve as a catalyst for community conversations about important local issues.
And it's only going to be open this Friday and Saturday, and then it's all done, so you should go check it out.
Oh, wow.
It's
well, more to follow
cool
on that for sure.
We'll get that story here
we'll
in just a
interview you
moment.
about it. That'll be good.
It is so cool. TinWorks. We'll tell you about it here in just a moment. 6:29. Here's our top story for you now. A 12-year-old Canadian girl died late Saturday night in a single vehicle crash in Beaverhead County.
According to Montana Highway Patrol, the out-of-state vehicle from Alberta, Canada, traveling northbound on Interstate 15 when it crashed near mile marker 44. That vehicle traveling through a construction zone when the driver attempted to merge, went off the right side of the highway. Then the driver re-entered the roadway, overcorrected, causing the vehicle to roll. The young girl was thrown from the vehicle, transported to Barrett Memorial Hospital, where she was pronounced dead. MHP says it's likely she was not wearing a seatbelt. A 44-year-old man, 40-year-old woman, and 2 children were wearing their seatbelts and injured in that crash. Speed suspected a factor. MHP is continuing to investigate that crash.
And a strong storm on Saturday brought large, damaging hail to the Townsend area.
MTN's Jonathan Ambarian talked to one of the residents who was cleaning up after the storm.
Kathleen Millay says she had just returned home to Townsend Saturday afternoon when something caught her attention.
All of a sudden there was a big knocks on the roof and the ground, and we just looked outside and all heck broke loose from there. This is going on right now! We're getting the biggest hail you've ever seen!
Many of the hailstones were around 2 inches in diameter. Millay collected a number of them and saved them in her freezer.
I've never seen hail like that in my 60 years here in Montana.
The hail cracked windshields and put dents in vehicles around town. It brought down leaves and branches around Millay's neighborhood.
Knocked a good share of the apples out of the tree. I don't know, just assessing. A lot of the paint damage peeled off the house and stairs, and I'm hoping the seals, the windows didn't get broken because we just fixed those.
This storm came almost exactly 3 years after another hailstorm that hit Townsend. That hail cost Millay's family $6,000 in damage. It will still take some time to determine the full extent of what this storm caused.
It's pretty bad. Ours looks pretty good considering some of the other ones.
In Townsend, Jonathan Ambarian, MTN News.
Crazy.
It just sounds like a war zone, you know?
Crazy.
I drove through Townsend that night, and they did a very good job of picking stuff up, but you got several reports of hail out there.
All around our view.
Not only there, but
Yeah.
look at this.
Yeah.
Some of the hail from Sheridan had 1.5 inch hail. Pretty amazing stuff. This was pretty active, Dylan, picking up some large hail over the weekend. So we've heard anyway.
That's right.
Rumor has it.
Yeah.
Also,
my windshield could tell you all about it.
I'm sure we will. Storm reports, look at that. Funnel cloud near Laurel. Same storm, tornado reported near Billings. That was yesterday evening, so very active. We are done with any severe weather. In fact, we're going to be hard-pressed to find any significant rain in the area until you get into Friday. Temperatures holding into the 40s. You can see our skies are fairly clear across the area. Daytime highs, mid to upper 70s, depending on where you are. Slight breeze for the afternoon. It's going to be a pleasant afternoon to get outside. We're going to break down your complete forecast in just a few minutes.
Thank you, Matt. 6:32 now on this Monday. Art and community discussion about the city's growth taking place under one roof in Bozeman.
Literally, MTN's Gabby Crevitt visited the TinWorks pop-up art exhibition and has our story.
TinWorks Art is a pop-up art exhibition located in the northeast neighborhood of Bozeman inside an abandoned warehouse. A project driven by the Story Mill Art nonprofit organization, the summer exhibition seeks to bring the community together through art and dialogue, featuring artists from Montana and around the country.
So there's a rich history of artists using spaces that are going to be torn down or that have been abandoned to create new works and to show their work. So we felt it was a great opportunity to bring in artists, to allow them to do pieces that you can't do in an art gallery, you can't do in a museum.
In a neighborhood that's known for its historical, eclectic charm, the art exhibit is located in a particularly unique spot. It's the future site of a new commercial and real estate development and will include affordable housing options. Currently on display at TinWorks Art is the Photo Voices Northeast exhibit, which provides a timely opportunity for members of the Northeast neighborhood to share what they love most about where they live and address its future changes.
We asked neighbors to take photos of things that they love about the neighborhood and want to preserve into the future. And then we invited the viewers who come in to add their own voices to the wall as they're inspired by what the neighbors have said.
Now, the end goal of this community-driven art project is to define the character of the neighborhood residents hope to preserve as Bozeman continues to grow, and to formally present these findings to the city.
A lot of the people, especially city officials and commissioners who have come to see the exhibit and participate, are really interested in this whole exhibit as a tool for community involvement.
The Photo Voices Northeast exhibit will open Friday, August 16th from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. and Saturday, August 17th from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. In Bozeman, Gabby Crevitt, MTN News.
Now here's the kicker. Tinworks Art will also be featuring the work of Billings resident Bentley Spang this coming weekend. That event is free, open to the public, so catch some live music while you're catching this really cool art, totally for free. Super neat exhibit.
Awesome.
We actually had one of the guys on the morning show a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
He drilled 10,000 holes into that ceiling, so when you walk in during the daylight, it looks like a constellation.
Very cool.
It's really neat. If you spend a little bit of time there, as the sun moves, the little dots and holes do too. It's really cool, yeah.
Sounds very cool.
Really, really neat.
If you're not going to go inside to art, maybe you go outside to the trails. Accessing the popular Beehive Basin trailhead in Big Sky will soon be a little easier. Soon.
That's right. The Big Sky Community Organization began construction on a new trailhead and 18 parking spots last week. The project will include construction of a restroom at the base of the trail, trash facilities, dog waste stations, and even an avalanche beacon check station.
Love that. Most importantly, the new trailhead will address parking concerns, congestion, and of course traffic.
With all the additional cars parking along the side of the road is already narrow, and it's creating issues where the homeowners that live in the subdivision above can't get by, and it also means that emergency vehicles, emergency services can't get by in case they need to get up there for some.
Now, please note, construction of the new trailhead set to be complete by September 5th. Big Sky Community Organization would like to encourage community to be patient and mindful of those crews while they are finishing up the work.
It is definitely a popular area for a good reason too.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's absolutely stunning up there. But
beautiful.
It's going to get better here in
September 5th.
time.
Just give them a couple more weeks.
A little bit of patience goes a long way. And this is a great story for you here. Since renowned fly rod maker Tom Morgan passed away, his legacy and his influence can still be felt at the Winston Rod Company.
This week under the Big Sky, Annette McLean, lead rod designer at Winston, reflects on her experiences with Tom.
Under the Big Sky is sponsored by Rocky Mountain Vein Clinic and Markovich Real Estate.
My husband and I, we've been in Twin Bridges for quite a few years, since 1975, 76. At that time, I knew a lot about Tom Morgan, but not about the company. Tom and I knew each other. Tom had graduated from Ennis High School. I had gone to school in Ennis. Kind of a local legend. This was a little bit before he really became recognized on the national level. He owned the company at that time along with Glenn Brackett. I approached Tom to see if my husband and I could buy a couple acres from a parcel of land that he had on the Big Hole River. He told me, well, no, Annette, but I'll offer you a job. So I left the Conservation District and I started working for the R.L. Winston Rod Company. Fate lands in your lap in funny ways. He's highly regarded now, almost as a legend in the sport of fly fishing. Some of his rod designs are still cherished today. I had the opportunity to work with him and Glenn Brackett, his partner in the company. I worked for the two of them for quite a few years. I learned a lot from Tom Morgan. First and foremost, I learned that the attention to detail is paramount. He was meticulous on coming as close to perfection as he could get. He cared about the community. He was also an avid conservationist. He worked hard to promote the health of fisheries. Even in his later years, he continued to be a defender of the resources. When David Ondaatje bought the company, he spent a lot of time with Tom Morgan, and the two of them became good friends. And in some ways, Tom was a mentor to David. That mentorship still carries through today.
And of course, you can check out the full Winston Rod story and all of our current stories online under thebigsky.com.
That's a phenomenal story. What a great man.
You betcha.
Now, in this month's Awaiting Child, Maren Shu introduces us to a 13-year-old Kanan from Kalispell.
Kanan loves adventures, Dungeons and Dragons, and school.
This is 13-year-old Kanan, who wants a family with a healthy relationship with technology.
Perfect family would probably be a family that has a healthy time of screen time, so like an hour and a half of screen, like video game or movie time, and then at night, like on weekends, I get a little bit more, like I get a movie at night, and then hour and a half of video game time during the day.
Besides video games, Kanan loves school.
I just like school because it helps you get smarter and helps you just like learn, and it can sometimes, if you're in a therapeutic school, you can learn how to be yourself rather than having to copy other people.
And when Kanan isn't in school or playing video games, he loves Dungeons and Dragons because he loves going on adventures.
The reason I like it is because you can go on adventures and just battle things at your will. And with biking, you do the same thing. You go on adventures. Like if you're mountain biking, you go on an adventure on the mountain, and then if you're on the road, you go on an adventure on the road.
Kanan tells me it would be nice if his new family had either a dog or a cat, but he's not picky. In Kalispell, Maren Sue, MTN News.
We hope he finds a forever home.
Yes, we do.
It is time for a quick break.